There's an epidemic sweeping across the nation. This epidemic has no sense of boundaries, and it hits close to home for everyone. Our heroes are disappearing. Our heroes are falling victim to cancer. Occupational cancer in the fire service is now recognized as the #1 killer of firefighters. Everyone across North Carolina depends on firefighters. Firefighters are the everyday heroes that protect our communities, defend our property from damage, rescue us when we are in danger, and they take care of us when we can't take care of ourselves. Firefighters truly are the heroes who are at their best when we are experiencing the worst. For many firefighters, their lives have been changed in just one moment.
In a moment, my life changed. In 2015, during a routine yearly physical, my doctor found a lump in my throat.
In one moment, my life changed with the word cancer. I was nervous about my family, my teenage son, my career.
In a moment, my life changed the day I was diagnosed with cancer.
In one moment, my life changed after being sent for a routine physical by the city. And after several months of testing, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to my liver and my lungs before I knew anything about it.
In just one moment, my life changed as a result of a physical provided by the fire department. They discovered some elevated or some unusual prostate screening antigen in my blood, and so the healthcare provider recommended that I do a follow-up.
My name is Jason Dyer. I'm a captain in the Concord Fire Department. I've been employed there for 14 years. My family reacted very shocked for my age, and they were also very sad. Cancer seems to run in my family. I've had a lot of close relatives die from cancer, so of course anyone's first reaction would be worry and sadness. My brothers at the firehouse were shocked as well. Of course, they wanted to know, all the little details and what was going to be my plan of action. I really feel that my cancer could be related to the fire service due to the fact that there's been a lot of research for wearing hoods and dirty hoods especially. Being so close to the surface, your thyroid is really susceptible to carcinogens. One thing I would advise for all firefighters to make sure you wear a clean hood, clean your gear on a regular basis. I know they say to clean it, once or twice a year, but I would clean it more frequently than that. I would tell the public to support your local fire department, whether it's volunteer, full-time, part-time. They need new gear all the time, and a lot of fire departments don't have the money.
My name is Joy Ponder. I'm a division chief with Asheville Fire Department. I've been there 20 years. Stand up for your rights and make sure that you have a healthy workplace and that you have everything you need to stay safe and stay strong. And I'd also like to remind the public that as firefighters, when you call 911, we're always there for you. It's the worst day of your life, and we respond. We go when it's cold, when it's hot, we're always there. And now with cancer, this is our worst day, and we're calling on you to help us and be there for us.
In 2011, I was diagnosed with a very rare form of T-cell lymphoma, which led through a long journey of chemo for 8 months and then a bone marrow transplant at the end of that. My family and I took it head on and decided we were going to fight to the end until we got it, until I was cured. I would tell my brother and sister firefighters out there to always be diligent in what you're doing. Be assertive. Document any time that you're in exposures of some sort so that we can go back and use that for reference. I would like to take a moment to tell the public, to tell them to talk to your legislators about the cancer laws that could be coming into effect, to support firefighters who do have certain types of cancer, so that they can be covered. And if you don't feel good, go to the doctor. Don't put it off.
I'm a retired 26-year veteran of Concord Fire Department due to cancer. The most important thing I can say about learning from being diagnosed with cancer would be that, first of all, you just don't give up. And you don't take just one answer. You go out and you search for more to find your best options. I was first diagnosed with 6 months to live if I did anything, and possibly 2 years if I went through treatment. And I'm currently 5 years still under treatment. The most important thing I could pass on to my fellow firefighters would be not taking wearing your SCBA and your equipment lightly. If you're close to the scene where you could be involved in any smoke or whatever, make sure you go ahead and wear your SCBA, go ahead and hook everything up and just stay as clean as you can with all your gear.
Finally, the urologist said, we're gonna do a biopsy. That's the next thing to do. And I said, yeah, well, let's do it, if that's what we need to do. So we did the biopsy, and then on my follow-up visit, I have to give my urologist some credit. He walked in and he didn't pull any punches. He said, well, we got a problem, my friend. And then so he told me straight up front, and then we went from there with different treatment options. So my advice to other chief officers in the fire service is focus as many resources as you can on cancer. I've never met a chief officer that didn't talk about the most important asset we have is our people. And if that's true, then this needs to be a focal point all along. And I think really the most, of course, that means budgeting dollars for different things. Because of my story, of course, with mine being caught during a physical, I think that's the most important thing. Focus those efforts on physicals and do the NFPA 1582 physical. If you're not doing that, I think that's critical to start doing those things because that, not only did we discover my cancer, I know personally of at least 2 other members that work here that played a part in detecting their cancer as well. So early detection is a huge deal. So that's my number one thing. But the other thing that I would say is you have to make it a priority, and you have to stay on this, and you have to set an example as the head of the department that it's important, because really what we're trying to do, forget about all the dollars and the physicals, forget about all that for a minute. Really what you're trying to do is do a cultural change. And, there's things that we have been brought up in the fire service, I don't want to say to ignore, but they haven't been brought up in our consciousness that we need to make people aware of those. We need to, stop standing around outside and just because you're not inside thinking you don't need to be clipped in or, you don't need to be on air. Either clip in or get away, You need to be aware of your surroundings, and you need to be aware of what you're breathing, what you're standing in, what you're getting on you. And as the head of the department, you have to push that, because that is something that is so ingrained in us that we don't have to worry about those things when we're outside or when in these ancillary areas. And that's just as that's at least as big a contributor as being inside, because we take care of our PPE when we're inside, right? I mean, we do it then. It's when we're outside that you need to understand the importance of that as well. And so it's that culture change that's the most important thing, I believe. I would just like to tell the public that this is serious business. Cancer is serious. I know the public knows that, and I think it's something it's not even in the peripheral. It's out of the public's eye that it's a crisis in the fire service, because I think when you look at the statistics overall, cancer occurrences are not dramatically higher in the fire service as a whole, but when you look at certain cancers, those 4 big ones, it's dramatically, the occurrences are dramatically higher.
Take a moment and clean your gear.
Take a moment and make sure they get their yearly physical, and if you're having any problems throughout the rest of the year, to have that checked out.
Take a moment, get your physical, a good physical.
Take a moment and wear your air pack.
I realized that I may have cancer, but it didn't have me, and I wasn't going to go down without a fight. In this moment, I'd like to remind all my North Carolina firefighter friends to wear your turnout gear, keep your stations and your fire trucks clean, get your annual checkups, and follow up with those.
Through the efforts of the North Carolina Firefighter Cancer Alliance and strategic partnerships, we are able to give guidance to firefighters, citizens, community leaders, state legislators, and other decision makers in empowering firefighters to do their jobs safely and effectively. We are partnered with the North Carolina Fire Chiefs Association in this important mission, saving our heroes.